Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show. Conversations with leading experts in business. And today I have an incredible guest, Trish Carr, the results revolutionary. And our topic today is getting results in revolutionary time. What an interesting topic. Trish, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today, Trish. Before I get started, I just need to make a legal disclaimer that Trish is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. So let's get started with the show. Trish, can you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yes, absolutely. So a little bit about myself. I'm a rock and roll girl. I enjoy going to concerts. I enjoy theater. I live in the U.S. in a beautiful place that's tropical and fabulous and warm all year round, and that's South Florida. And my business is Women's Prosperity Network. And Women's Prosperity Network is a community, if you will, a sisterhood that includes some incredible men as well, like yourself. We're really a community of women who come together to be the best that we can be, so that with our projects, with our products, and with our services, we make a massive positive difference in our families, in our communities, and in the world. That's really who we are and what we're about.
And what I love about that, Trish, you're really enjoying life. You like the theatre, rock and roll. Life is about having fun, even in these times of crisis we're all going through. It's so nice to keep that fun at heart. I love what you're about, and I love the network you have built, the platform you have built, and the values that you have, Trish. Can you share with our listeners, who are the women that your network is perfect for? What are those women? What do they look like, Trish? And what are the men like as well?
Well, the men and women who are part of the community of Women's Prosperity Network are on a mission. They are mostly people who run their own small business or who aspire to run their own small business. Many of them have a business that's been working for a while, and they want to get better results. They want to make connections with other people. They want to learn and grow both personally and professionally. And some of those people are people who are still working in full-time jobs, but they have a calling to do something else. And what we do is work with those people so that they can create that business, so that they can eventually release the full-time job. I say there's a lot of teachers, a lot of nurses who are not fulfilled in what they're doing anymore. And they want to take the skills that they've had, the things that they know, the things that their talents and their gifts are about, and parlay that into a business that makes a difference and makes a living. So it's really people, I like to say at Women's Prosperity Network, it's not just about success, because certainly we can get you to financial success. That's one of the tenets that we have is building your wealth. But secondarily, it's significance. It's making that difference. It's not enough to simply make a lot of money for the community that is Women's Prosperity Network. It's about having the lifestyle so that we can do the things we want, make the difference that we want to make, send our kids to college, contribute to the organizations that matter to us, and with our products and services, do something good in the world. That's really what it's about. So that's who we are. People who want more, people who are thriving and striving at the same time.
And what I like about that, wealth is important so that we can have those amazing lifestyles, Trish. But like you say, it's about having that meaning and doing good things as well. And that's what I really like about the Women's Prosperity Network. I would like to ask you, Trish, how did this all come about? What made you bring all this to life, the Women's Prosperity Network? Where was that idea launched? What led to it?
Well, I'm lucky enough that I work with my two sisters, blood sisters, same mother, same father. And we all had different reasons for doing Women's Prosperity Network. For me, it was about really taking what I learned in the corporate world. So I worked in corporate America. My background was in telecommunications, and I worked up that ladder, got to high levels of management, was making great money, but it wasn't fulfilling me. So when they offered me the opportunity to leave and handed me lots of money and said, why don't you go now? Because they were downsizing the company. I was like, it's time for me to go. So at that point, I knew that I wanted to do something more significant. And this was in the late 90s when I left. And I did a bunch of different things. I worked in corporate. I did some consulting and training. What I like to say is I wanted people to be able to see their potential and actually act on it. Because I was lucky enough to work at a company that was very much into personal development as well as professional development. So I learned things, get this, like in 1988, the company I worked for was teaching the law of attraction. Like that doesn't happen in corporate America, but I happened to be in a really progressive area. So I learned so much about being the woman that I am, being the person that I am, and how when I'm that person, I can contribute even more in my business. For example, there's a woman that has been a member of Women's Prosperity Network for a long time. And when she came, she was in real estate and she wanted to just start to make more money. She wanted to get her systems down. She wanted to work smarter, not harder. So, of course, we taught her all that. But here's the thing, is this woman, in a conversation with me, her name is Lydia, she said, I have a poetry book I would like to do something with. I was like, really? You're selling real estate and you're a poet. Tell me more about that. She said, it lights me up. It makes me, it just enriches me. So we spent some time having her develop her poetry and getting her poetry book out. And just being able to do that, being able to tap into another part of herself, because of that, her business doubled because she herself had some significance. She herself was opened up. She herself was being the woman she could be. So I know that that's a fact. So that's one of the things we do at Women's Prosperity. It's not just about, making the money. It's about what else lights you up? What else can we open up for you? So, going back to your question, is the aha moment for me was in 2008, which is when we began Women's Prosperity, which is almost 13 years now. Amazing. It was the start of the recession, and it was a global recession, if you recall. And there were so many people I knew who were so unhappy in the jobs that they had because they had become a number instead of a person. And businesses were clamping down and people were having to do more with less. And they were wanting to get out and they didn't know how. So that for me was the awakening. When I saw so many people who had such great talent being stuck and stifled in such a big way. So I wanted to make a difference there. So that's how we started Women's Prosperity Network. I wanted to be able to, at any time, stand up out of your cubicle and be able to connect with another person. I wanted to be able to invite them to personal development and professional development that they just don't get in the world. So the moment was really the recession, when I saw the opportunity that there was for so many people, but they didn't know that it was there, and instead they were staying in jobs they hated.
And what really stands out to me there, Trish, is I always talk about this, that you must follow your passions and your heart. And this lady that you have helped go from real estate, which I'm sure she did like, but her passion was poetry, and to then go on and double that income, that is pretty phenomenal, and a great story of following your passion and everything else follows. I would like to ask you a great question here. We are in a crisis at the moment. There's lots of political battles going on. We're in a lockdown to a certain degree. It must be a really important time now, just as much as when you originally launched your business. People really need this, don't they, Trish, at the moment, because there's a lot of people either out of work, not happy with how their jobs are going. Are you finding that there's more of a need more than ever at the moment?
Yes, absolutely. And the need is twofold. So there's the people that you're talking about, that they have no job. What am I going to do to bring in cash? And then there's the people who have already been in their businesses. How do I keep it going? You know, the word everybody's using now is pivoting. How do I pivot to something so I can still do what I was doing? So, for example, one of our members is an event planner. She does events where she brings people together. Well, that went out the window. We couldn't get together in person, certainly. She could still do things online, but it wasn't bringing her what she needed. And we worked together to look at, what are your talents and skills? What are you really good at? And it was right in front of her, but she just didn't see it. What she was really good at was technology. She knows how to use Zoom. She always has. She knows how to create virtual backgrounds. She knows how to use your phone to create great little promotional videos, all the things that she was doing for her own business. And what we did was we pivoted on that, and that became her new business. And now she's doing online training classes, and her business is thriving in that area. The other thing, and this is really the third thing, is that with lockdown, people more than ever need to communicate and connect with each other.
Yes.
So even if you were working at home before, you were getting out, you were going to networking. Well, luckily, Women's Prosperity Network has been providing online connections and networkings that we do once a month. We do it twice, at noontime and at 7 p.m., and those are Eastern times, twice on the third Tuesday of every month. And it's just networking where you get online. We get on Zoom and we meet. You go into small groups a few times and you meet like 12 to 15 different people, and then you make those connections and take them offline. Well, we've been doing that for almost 3 years now. So people were really hungry for that kind of thing. So all throughout the month, one of the things we want to be is, we don't want to be just a one and done. We have many different ways that people can connect online all throughout the month. So whenever you have time, or whenever you're ready to do a networking or a connection or a training class or a seminar, there's always something to plug into. And that keeps people connected. That keeps people, getting out of their own space, their own heads. And we were ready because we've been doing it for so long. So we've seen the growth of our online programs over the course of lockdown, which has been great for us and great for all the people who are now making the connections that they've always wanted to make, but didn't realize was right there from the comfort of their own home or office.
It's a very, very important point what you have made with how things have been with the pandemic and people being locked down. It can become a little bit lonely, and you are so right that having connection and a community that you can get support from, network with, have conversations, support each other. That is so, so important, and no more now than it has ever been. I think it's so, so important at the moment to have that community and connection to others, and that's what I love about what you're doing, Trish. For our listeners, can you share a little bit more detail of the kind of service and products that you offer?
Yes, absolutely. So as I mentioned, one of the things we're all about is building communities so that we make connections with each other, because, that people always say it's, who you know. Well, it's really not who you know. It's who knows you. And who knows you before they need you. Because for most people, if I need an aspirin, I go get an aspirin. But for many businesses, people aren't going to need you in the moment that you meet them. So one of the services that we do is we show you how to stay top of mind in people's lives. And not in a way that's obnoxious, not in a way that's salesy, because, women is mostly are the people that we serve. And we're different than men. Women have concerns about coming across too pushy, coming across too salesy, right? So everything we do comes from a heart-centered space, as opposed to a dog-eat-dog, let's kill the competition. That's not our energy. Our energy is about the law of attraction. In fact, one of the words that we use at Women's Prosperity, and we thought we coined it, but I've since seen it, is co-opetition. There's a misconception about women. And I think this is globally, because in my travels, I've seen this misconception all over the place. And that is that women are backbiters. Women are catty. Women are not supportive of each other. And in my world, it's exactly the opposite. Yes. Women are supportive. So co-opetition is we can be in the same industry, or we can be going for the same customer, let's say, but there's always enough for everyone. So we're not a one-of-a-kind type of organization where we only have one person who does health servicing, for example. It's what we find is that people who are in the same industry can work together, and everyone can increase their business, and everyone can get better. So this whole feeling of women being so competitive is just not true. We look for ways that we can work together. And I think that's one of the things that really sets us apart from other organizations. The other thing we do is we provide training. So training on basic things like, computer training, the things that I mentioned that Pat is doing, how to be online, how to work Zoom, how to maximize your videos, all that kind of stuff. But the other thing we do is the number one thing we're focused on is making sure that your message is getting out. So that means that your message is articulated well, that it lands on people the right way, and it compels them to want to work with you. So, for example, coming up this week is our Business of Speaking training. And that's about, we use the stage as the platform that we talk about. So if you're doing Facebook Lives, if you're doing online trainings, or if you're standing in front of an audience and speaking, the way that you measure whether or not that had an effect is how many people want to work with you as a result. And what happens for so many people is they'll speak, and let's take it back to when we used to be able to do it in person, and they would get off the stage and people would go, "Oh, great job, Trish. That was wonderful, Trish." But nobody was opening up their purse or their wallet to buy what it was you were selling. So being able to do that, being able to influence people to want to work with you is one of the number one things we do. And we also have ongoing mentoring programs as well, with accountability built in, with systems and structure so that you get things done and you can work smarter, not harder.
What I like about what you've just shared, and it's a saying I use a lot, Trish, collaboration and not competition. Everyone will thrive. And you just put that beautifully with the word that you just said. Say it again for us, Trish.
It's just changing one little letter. It's instead of competition, change the one M to an O, and it's co-opetition.
I like this. This is a great, great way to put it. And also, I just really like the points that you made on speaking. I have had that myself, where you speak, everyone says you're amazing, but you don't sell at the end of speaking. That is a skill that you really do have to master, and that the fact that you're going out of your way to support and help people to have these skills, it's a really, really important skill to have. Trish, I really, really find your work fascinating. I really admire what you're doing. What is new for Trish? What are you working on right now, even though you've got so much going on with the network? What is new? What is coming up in the future for Trish?
Well, Mark, first of all, let me say right back at you, because I so admire that you work with people so that they can get their message out, so that they can be seen on many different platforms, so that people know who they are. So right back at you. You and I are kindred spirits, and we're both going for the same thing. And for us at Women's Prosperity Network, what's coming up next is we've created a program that we call Momentum. And what it does is just that. It creates momentum. Because, John Maxwell is an amazing leadership guru, if you will. He's written almost 100 books on leadership. And that's one of the things he talks about that really stuck with me was momentum. Because so many times we'll start and then we kind of lose our energy and we don't keep it going. And part of that, there's lots of reasons for that.
I'm guilty of that, Trish, sometimes.
Well, and we all are. We all are. So you're not alone. So that was one key that we really wanted to make sure that we capitalize on, creating that momentum and keeping it going. So it's not only you working on your own to getting things done, it's having accountability partners. Someone who loves you, like everything we do, we love you to success. That's what we like to say. We love you to success. Yeah, someone who cares about you, who's not like your mom looking over your shoulder and pointing her finger, but someone who really has your best interests at heart. And so we create those accountability groups. We create masterminds where people come together. And so many times we hear, I really didn't want to come today, but I'm so glad I did. I feel so inspired now. So it's really about creating that momentum and keeping it going. And we're finding such great results, because once you get moving, once you get going, it's like anything. Once you get on your bicycle and you start pedaling, when you keep pedaling, it gets easier and easier, and you go faster and faster. So that's what we're working on now, is creating the momentum that keeps everybody moving forward. And that's how we create revolutionary results, is with momentum.
Trish, I have really enjoyed a conversation with you today. I highly, highly recommend everyone to connect with Trish. Check out how to get momentum into your business, into your life. Check out the Women's Prosperity Network. My final question to you today, Trish, how can our audience best connect with you?
Well, you can reach me, of course, at Trish at womensprosperityNetwork.com. And I'd love to offer you all a free messaging plate that will help you. And it's a template that will support you in presenting your ideas, whether you're presenting them from the stage or you're presenting them one-on-one. or you're writing something such as a web page or an article, if you go to speakingforfunandprofit.com, that's speakingforfunandprofit.com, you'll get a free template called the Presentation Profitizer Formula. And it's a formula. I love formulas. One of the things I didn't mention about myself is I love math, because 1 + 1 is always 2. A + B is always C. I love repeatable formulas. So it's speakingforfunandprofit.com. You'll get a repeatable formula that'll support you in being really great in getting your messaging out. So, and of course, you can go to womensprosperitynetwork.com and find out more about us and connect with me there as well. Mark, thank you so much. Really,
Trish, I've really enjoyed having a conversation with you, and I will make sure those links are easy for people to find. I would recommend everyone check out the amazing Trish Carr. Thank you for being on the Brilliance Business Show today, Trish.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in...
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.